Hello students. So I think all of you have attended the online classes and regularly are attending the online classes. Then also some of the students might be having some connectivity issues and might be having network issues. So they may have some doubts also, and for them, those who are having a connectivity issue, so to help them and to make you understand, I am making this video and we are going to discuss about the next chapter, that is chapter number 7, control and coordination. So what do you mean by control and what do you mean by coordination? So already we have discussed that control is, if suppose any metabolic activity is going on in our body or any other living organism, so that metabolic activity is regulated by what we call as a special mechanism that is called as a control. And what is coordination? For example, last chapter we have studied the digestion in human beings. So in digestion, you have seen that there was a digestion in mouth, there was a digestion in stomach, there was a digestion in small intestine. So this digestion process was completed by all these organs, and these organs are well connected in order to complete the digestion process. So these organs have coordinated, they have helped each other to complete a particular metabolic process. So this is called coordination. So control and coordination are the concepts which will help in metabolic reactions, to regulate the metabolic reactions and to complete the metabolic reactions successfully. So this control and coordination not only in animals or human beings, this control and coordination can be seen in the plants also. So definitely you might be having a question that, sir, how it is possible in plants? Plants do not have any organs. Yes, but it is possible in plants. Plants also regulate and coordinate to complete their metabolic processes. So first of all, we will discuss about control and coordination in plants. So come to the next slide. Here there are two important words, stimulus and response. So in first picture you can see that one dog is there, and in front of dog something to eat. So when you show a biscuit or any foodstuff to the dog, what will happen? Dog will start its salivation. So what is the meaning here? The dog has responded to a biscuit or a foodstuff. So that foodstuff or a biscuit is a stimulus and dog salivation is a response to that stimulus. The same way in the second picture, you can see that a man is working on a machine, and while working he got hurt and suddenly he put off his hand. So putting off his hand while working, that is what? A response. And the hurt what he got, that is a stimulus. In third picture, you can see that a person is holding a pan, and in next picture, very next picture, the person has put off his hand. So while cooking, he is holding a hand, and while cooking he got a hurt, and here the heat is stimulus and putting off his hand is a response. And in the last picture you can see that the leaves get folded when a person is touching the leaves. So here touch is a stimulus and folding of leaves is what? A response. So here stimulus and response, these are the two important concepts. So let's come and see the control and coordination in plants. So you might be thinking that yes, this control and coordination, how it is possible in the plants, that we have different organs, we have organ system, and animals also can have organ system, different metabolic reactions they carry out, but plants do not have such type of system. Yes, but plants can show control and coordination in different metabolic reaction with the help of what we called as the plant hormones, and that plant hormones are called as phytohormones. That plant hormones are called as what? Phytohormones. Phyto refers to plant, okay, and hormones refers to the chemicals. Certain chemicals secreted in the plants are responsible for the control and coordination in the plants. So that phytohormones are divided into plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors. Okay, these phytohormones are mainly divided into plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors. So by plant growth promoters only, you might have understood the meaning of this word, that is growth promoters. Growth promoters means the hormones which are going to promote the growth of the plant, which are going to help in the growth of the plant, that are called as what? Plant growth promoters. And next, plant growth inhibitors. Inhibiting means what? To stop. So hormones which are going to play a role in stopping the growth of the plant, called as plant growth inhibitors. So again, these plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors are subdivided. So what are that? Plant growth promoters are auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, and plant growth inhibitors are abscisic acid and ethylene. So now we are going to see one by one. So before going to start with this, you should know the parts of the plant, because these hormones are growth related hormones. So in the plant growth, these hormones play a very important role. Either it may be what? Growth promoter hormones or growth inhibitor hormones. And togetherly these hormones are called as plant growth regulators. And what is regulators? Hormones which are going to regulate the growth of the plant, which are going to regulate the development in the plant. Okay, so that is what here these hormones are going to play a very important role in growth and development of the plant. So before going to start, just try to understand the parts of the plant. So plant is mainly divided into two parts. You know very well that you might have studied in 7th standard or 8th standard that plant is divided into mainly two systems. One is a root system and another is a shoot system. So you might be surprised, sir, you are using word here system, and there you are saying that there is no system in the plants. Yes, my dear students, we are using here system. What is system? A group of things, what we referred as what? A system, or a group of what we call as the parts we can refer as a system here. So root system and shoot system. So root system is what we call as inside the soil surface. Okay, and the shoot system is above the soil surface. So again, in shoot system you can have a stem, you can have a leaf, you can have a nodes, you can have a what we call as leaves, you can have a fruit, you can have a flowers, okay. And especially you can see that the nodes and internodes. What are nodes? A node is a point on which the branch arises. You can see that the branch has arrived, so that is called as a node. And what is internode? The distance between the two node is called as what? The internode. Next, you may have a word axillary bud and terminal bud. So axillary bud is a bud which has grown on the stem axis or the plant axis. It has grown on the axis, that's why it is referred as what? Axillary bud. And what is terminal bud? Terminal bud is grown on the tip of the plant. Tip of the plant. And this is called as what? Terminal. Why it is terminal? Because it has grown at the end of the plant. That's why it is called as what? Terminal bud. So these are the main important parts of the plant. Again, in the second picture, you can see that there is a lateral bud. Lateral bud, the another name for the axillary bud is also what? A lateral bud. So don't get confused with the lateral bud and axillary bud. Okay, lateral means what? It is present on the sides. That's why it is called as what? Lateral bud. Okay, terminal bud is at the present at the what? Tip. That is called as what? Terminal bud. So why I am emphasizing on this lateral bud and terminal bud, that you will come to know in the next slides. Okay, so let us start with the phytohormones. Yes. So first we will talk about the auxins. Yes, auxins is one of the growth promoters which influences the plant growth, which is found in the leaves and stems, okay, and these are also referred as growth regulators, okay. Auxin mainly involved in cell enlargement, cell elongation, okay, and they are located in the meristems and shoot tips, that is terminal and lateral buds. Auxin move mainly from apex to down. Yes, auxin is mainly present in the meristematic tissues. So what are meristematic tissues? Last year we have studied in the 9th standard. The group of what we call as undifferentiated cells which are having the capacity of cell division throughout its life is called as meristematic tissue. Okay, in such meristematic tissue the auxin is present, and auxin helps in what we call as growth of the terminal bud, or auxin mainly helps in the growth of the tip of the plant, and it also involves in the cell enlargement or elongation. It also involves in lengthening of the internodes and influences the developing of embryos. So you know what, after the fusion of what we call as a male gamete and the female gamete, there is a formation of zygote, and zygote develops into embryo, and in development of embryo auxin also helps in the development of embryo. Next, lengthening of internodes. Yes, the length of the internodes increases. So length of the internode increases means what? Length of the, indirectly the stem is increasing. So this is about what? Briefly about the auxin. Okay, so auxins are naturally present in the plants and they can be synthesized artificially also. For example, IAA is the best example of auxin. IAA is indole acetic acid. Okay, so for your syllabus is concerned, you have only functions of plant growth hormones, how they are helping in growth of the plants and how they are regulating in what we call as growth of the plants. Next, come to the functions of gibberellins. Okay, gibberellin helps in stem elongation. Yes, it helps in what? Stem elongation. It also helps in seed germination. It also helps in what? Seed germination. Next, it also helps in seedling growth. It also breaks the seed dormancy. So what is seed dormancy? It is the inactive period. It is the inactive period of the seed from the harvest to the germination, and that inactive period is called as dormant period. And gibberellin will break the dormancy of the seed. How it will break? You know, the seed is having a seed coat, so it will weakens the seed coat, and it will what? Allow the seed to germinate. Okay, then why dormancy is necessary? Dormancy is necessary actually in order to avoid unfavorable conditions. So that's why we have a seasonal crops, you know, we have a rabi crops, you have a kharif crops. Why this? Because of the seed dormancy. Next, it also helps in what we call as flowering. Okay, and in the flowering, some of the plants are long day plants, some of the plants are requiring cold treatment for flowering. Long day plants means what? Some of the plants required more light for flowering. Some of the plants required cold temperature, that is low temperature, for the what we called as the flowering. So in such cases, gibberellin will help. Next, again, even it is helping in flowering and sex expression. So dear students, today we have studied? We have studied auxins and we have studied gibberellins. So in the next video, I'll be discussing about the remaining growth promoters and remaining growth inhibitors. So please complete your homework, read your NCERT textbook, and even attempt the online test whichever are given. Okay, thank you students.